can't be here till 10. You know that. So,
well,
if you want to talk to them and let me know, I mean, and what you guys plan to do, what you want to do, we'll work with you, like I said. But obviously, you can't block the answers. So, let me know what you guys decide.
well, what are you saying? I'll talk to people.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to, like, be here, you know, for you know, another half an hour and then roll out, that's fine.
What time is it now?
7:30.
Okay.
But I can't let you sit here until 10. You know that. All right.
All right. Well, let me talk to everybody.
All right. I appreciate. What's your name?
I'm Ted.
I'm Andrew, Lieutenant Horace. So just let me know. I'm going to be here.
Okay.
But you can't be here till 10. Just letting you know that now. All right. So we're going to have to make a rest before it comes to that. Okay. All right, Ted. I appreciate you guys. Thanks, guys.
Joe Manchin and a lot of his cronies are trying to force the Mountain Valley Pipeline to get built. It's a dangerous, really messed up project that's not going to do anything for the local economy and is only going to extract, you know, money for a few people at the top, and we're all going to have to socialize the environmental impact, and that's not something that I'm willing to just stand back and take. So we're here to tell FERC that they need to stop their fossil fuel support, and we need to stop Manchin from controlling this agency. We need to turn FERC into FREC, the Federal Renewable Energy Commission, and we need to just we need to start making our transition to a new economy that's not based on fossil fuels, because we all know that there's an end game and it's coming really soon. So the sooner we wake up and start acting like it, the better. So what better way than to hang out with my friends and sit in a rocking chair here in beautiful Washington, D.C.
Keep moving down.
I got you.
What do we want?
Climate justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Climate justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
We're gonna turn up. We're gonna get loud. And protect future generations now. I hear the voice of my great granddaughter say, keep it in the ground. Rising with the mountaintops, flowing with the oceans. We are the protector, our spirits have awoken. We are the protectors. We are the protectors. Rising with the mountaintops, flowing with the ocean. Our spirits have awoken. We are the protectors. We are the protectors. Rising with the mountaintops, flowing with the ocean. We are the protectors. Our spirits have awoken. We are the protectors. We are. Fossil fuels are a threat.
Fossil fuels are a threat
And only put us more in debt.
and only put us more in debt.
We're here because we want the world to be better and we want FERC to be better. Forget your perfect offering.
Forget your perfect offering.
Just ring the bell that you can ring.
Just ring the bell that you can ring.
There is a crack in everything.
There is a crack in everything.
That's how the light.
light.
That's how the light gets in.
We're here today at the offices of FERC to take a stand
one of many stands we've taken against Joe Manchin, miserable Joe Manchin, in his infinite capacity to inflict more pain and damage on the sacrificed communities of Appalachia, of the Gulf Coast, and of the American North. Manchin's idea of expanding fossil fuels is to build out, to drill out, and to burn, baby, burn. And that is simply unacceptable for our communities. Communities that have been long overburdened by pollution from industry, that have not seen the benefits of the so-called jobs and opportunities that are supposed to have come to make our communities better and stronger. They do not put these facilities in communities of wealth or affluence. You won't see them on Wall Street. You won't see them in Beverly Hills. You won't see them in Highland Park in Dallas or in River Oaks in Houston. You'll see them in communities of color where people have the least ability to fight back and push back against their government and multi-billion-dollar corporations. That's right. So we're here today to send a message to Joe. And that message is, hell no, Joe.
Hell no, Joe.
Hell no, Joe.
Hell no, Joe.
Hell no, this won't go. We beat you once, we beat you before, and we're gonna beat you again.
We are actively engaged in fighting the MVP in West Virginia, Southwest Virginia, and the proposed Southgate. So Russell Chisholm wanted to be here, but he's neck deep in the fight along with other people. And I said, I'll go. It's important that we're here together. I want to thank everybody who's here for doing everything that you're doing across the country. I want to reiterate something, if I can get it out of my pocket here. Sitting over there a little while ago, and we was talking, and I can't get it out of my pocket. It's here, it's my pocket. There's some things missing in all this, and they're just flying down the... So, what's missing? First thing that's missing is Biden's environmental promises. On my little missing box here, Biden's backbone to stand up to the bullying of Joe Manchin.
That's right.
FERC's backbone to stand up to the bullying of Joe Manchin.
Yeah.
Other people's backbone. Grow a backbone.
Yeah.
Grow a backbone and say, hell no, Joe.
Hell no, Joe.
And Joe Manchin's conscience. Maybe it doesn't exist. You know, I've known Joe Manchin for many years. I've done some things that I'm positive. It appalls me that he has become such a greedy fossil fuel lobbyist. And I'm just beyond words. But we fought this dirty deal. We beat it 5 times, I think. As I said in a recent op-ed I wrote, it's time to kill the dirty deal for good. It's gotta go. Gotta go. This permitting reform that he wants so badly not just affects MVP, it affects everybody in this country. They can ram anything down anybody's throat as long as a few people make a few bucks. And it's time that America wakes up and see what's happening in this world. If we're going to have a world for our grandchildren and our children, we have to go to the streets. We have to say no. This is the new civil rights fight, one of the civil rights fights of this era. Our people from Third Act in the rocking chairs, what a powerful, give these people a big hand that's in the rocking chairs back here. As Ted Glick says, we're rocking in a fossil fuel-free world. I also want to take a moment to say that we're missing our friend Andy Hines, who I was standing right here with a month ago, and he was put in jail for standing up for the climate. Where's the sign? There it is. He may be in jail, but he's with us. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, everybody, come up here. Let's stop this dirty deal. Let's get a FERC that actually does the right thing and does renewable energy. And who's next?
My name is Madison Mayhew. I'm the Federal Policy Manager with Interfaith Power and Light. I use she, her pronouns. The Interfaith Power and Light Network is made up of over 40 state affiliate organizations working for a faithful response to climate change and environmental injustices. IPL organizations have been involved in faithfully fighting new fossil fuel infrastructure across the country. My colleagues here in DC, West Virginia, Virginia, North Carolina, and Nebraska have worked to stop several projects, including the Atlantic Coast and Keystone XL pipelines, and continue to work to stop the MVP. National IPL worked with our amazing affiliates and grassroots leaders to stop Senator Manchin's dirty deal last year multiple times. As people of faith, we are compelled by the moral call to care for our neighbors and our planet. Any new fossil fuel projects place our beloved communities at risk, particularly historically disenfranchised communities who have borne the brunt of toxic pollution and on the forefront of climate change. As Manchin's proposal has returned again within negotiations around the debt ceiling, we once again declare that our neighbors are not negotiable, and we will continue to keep fighting against any dirty deal that places communities at risk or in harm's way. I'm here today representing our state chapters in Oregon and Washington State Ecumenical Ministries of Oregon / Oregon Interfaith Power and Light and Earth Ministry Washington IPL, both members of the Stop GTN Express Coalition, working to prevent the GTN Express fracked gas pipeline expansion across the Pacific Northwest. GTN is a 60-year-old gas pipeline that goes through North Idaho, eastern Washington State, and eastern and central Oregon, including under rivers and through neighborhoods in the Spokane, Washington suburbs and Bend, Oregon, and even under a church playground. TC Energy, the same company behind Keystone and Keystone XL, wants to push more gas through this existing pipeline, endangering communities and jeopardizing West Coast states' climate goals. Last month, nearly 400 faith leaders across Idaho, Washington, and Oregon sent a letter to FERC asking them to deny the GTN Express project due to moral, safety, environmental justice, and climate concerns. These faith leaders are joined by Oregon U.S. Senators Jeff Merkley and Ron Wyden, Washington Governor Jay Inslee, the State Attorneys General of Washington, Oregon, and California, and the Columbia River Intertribal Fish Commission, who have all asked FERC to deny GTN Express. We call on Washington Senators Patty Murray and Maria Cantwell and Oregon Governor Tina Kotek to join us in asking FERC to stop this project. I particularly want to lift up the Columbia River Intertribal Fish Commission and their members tribes, the Nez Perce Tribe, the Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation, the Confederated Tribes of the Warm Springs Reservation of Oregon, and the Confederated Tribes and Bands of the Yakama Nation. They have expressed their explicit concerns about FERC's inadequate tribal consultation on the project and the lack of public need for this pipeline expansion. As members of faith, we care deeply about folks along the pipeline's route in the U.S. and also about our neighbors in Northeast British Columbia, particularly the First Nations peoples on whose land 660 new fracked gas wells will be dug if the GTN Express pipeline expansion is approved. We care about the people and the community of all life today and in future generations who would experience the climate chaos that would be unleashed if FERC continues to approve greenhouse gas emitting projects like this pipeline expansion. The science is clear, and our Pacific Northwest states are already feeling the impacts of climate change this week after an unseasonably early heat wave. For ourselves, for our neighbors today, and for future generations, we must stop expanding fossil fuel projects and instead use our creativity and resilience to sustain a flourishing planetary community. Therefore, we call on FERC to reject the GTN Express pipeline and other projects mentioned today, to make decisions based on environmental justice and to consider permitting reforms only if they contribute toward a healthy and flourishing local community. Thank you so much.
Hello, good morning. A lot of us frontline leaders are here in DC standing in front of the FERC administration office. Again, I'm Melanie, Freeport, Texas, an hour south of Houston. We have Dow Chemical, BASF, Port Freeport LNG that had the big explosion on June the 8th. I'm also a healthcare professional, and I helped with a cancer cluster study in 2018 for Freeport Clute area. When we talk about there's cancer clusters all up and down the coast, it is for real. We want you, President Biden and your administration and the FERC commissioners here and Manchin, to tell you, you are literally killing us in our sacrificed communities. There was a new study that just came out that I want to read quickly. The study said, fossil fuel addiction is literally killing us, millions, and worsening climate crisis. This new study on public health impacts of oil and gas production says, air pollution from U.S. oil and gas, natural gas production causes roughly $77 billion in health impacts nationwide every year, while contributing to thousands of early deaths and health flare-ups. I'm here with Better Brazoria, my friend Gwen Jones. We can tell you that a lot of people go to funerals every weekend of people that are dying prematurely of cancer, heart problems, respiratory problems. This is real, President Biden. This is real, FERC commissioners. You need to step up and stop approving these dirty, dangerous LNG plants. The pollutants from U.S. oil and gas production contributed to 7,500 excess deaths, 410,000 asthma attacks, 2,200 new cases of childhood asthma across the U.S. And to make this very, very personal, I have a friend near me who has glioblastoma brain cancer, and he has had 2 brain surgeries. He's suffering, and we have Gwen and I have many friends and relatives, as a lot of the frontline leaders here have friends, relatives that have died from cancer and other health problems from the oil and gas production. It has gone on way too long. President Biden, to make this personal, I know you lost a son to glioblastoma cancer. The Bidens have started some research and treatment centers for cancer, but wouldn't it be radical if we just prevented this cancer in our community? Save lives. You can do this, President Biden. You did a first step executive order, but you have control of Manchin. You could take control of Mr. Manchin, who is literally killing us with his decisions. I usually am fairly soft-spoken, but this is something that is real, and this is something President Biden, Granholm, Buttigieg, various leaders in your administration could stop right now by banning all oil and gas export and expansion. So we are pleading, this is a life and death matter for us, and we're going to be hearing from other frontline communities that are just like ours on the Louisiana and Texas coast.
I'm from St. James, Louisiana. I'm the director and founder of Rise St. James. Rise St. James came about because of Formosa Plastics. They wanted to build a $9.4 billion industry in St. James Parish, 2 miles from my home, and we said no, and we are fighting it.
You said hell no.
I said hell no, that's right. Joe Manchin needs to come to St. James and see what we're going through. Let him come and see how many people have already died because of industry. We have 12 industry within a 10-mile radius. My friend Jean has cancer in the liver, and it went to her lungs. How many more people have to die? Just like John said, this is murder. They are killing us, deliberately killing us. If nothing is being done, we will be wiped out. Our governor trying to get more industry to come into Louisiana in the South, especially in St. James Parish. Our 7 council members voting for another industry to come into St. James is called DG Fuels. They want to be built in another neighborhood, but right in the 5th district where I'm from. Even though we have 12, they want to add another one. So industry is profiting off our lives. We are dying. We have asthma. We have all types of illnesses. And some of us walking around with cancer, we don't even know it. We haven't even gone to the doctor just to make sure, and I'm one of them. I haven't checked in a while. I'm afraid to check because so many people have cancer, so many people are dying, so many people are being diagnosed with cancer. And if nothing is being done, we're not going to live. And we're asking Joe Manchin to come to St. James and see what we're going through. And all these other people that sit here in D.C. behind the desk and make laws for us to die. They don't live there. They don't know our story. They don't know that we are sick. But they can write these laws. They need to call us to come and sit down and write the laws with them. And we will tell them what we need in our community so we can live. Tell them bring the industry and put it in the White House. Yeah. They wouldn't like that. Yeah. They wouldn't like that. Right. They don't have industry over here in the White House. Correct. They have their suits on, go to work every day looking all nice and neat, and we up there suffering. We can't even breathe. When you wake up in the morning, you can smell that, the filth, the toxic emissions. We have smokestacks. We have water that's being poisoned. Our land is poisoned. So what about us? We are being poisoned also. So we need help. Joe Manchin, come to St. James, Louisiana, and tell me how you feel. Tell me what you smell. And all the other people in Congress that's sitting behind a desk making laws for us to die.
The good is that we had a good neighborhood all over this country, no matter where you lived or where you came from. All of a sudden it became ugly because of industries coming in and bombarding and taking over what we knew as home. When I say home, that's a home that we were loved and raised up in and no longer have. And the ugly is when they rape these same communities, these industries, and they walk away and they leave and they don't think a thing about it. They kill our people, our children, and even when you're in the graveyard, you're still not safe from these chemicals that they produce. These LNG plants got to stop. Somewhere all these industrial petrochemical plants, oil and gas, has to stop. Yeah. We no longer want that. And we are saying this, when we open our doors, we are telling them exactly what we want to see outside of our doors, and it has nothing to do with smokestacks. It has nothing to do with poison in the ground when we raise our food and water our food. It has nothing to do with that. And I say today, no more LNG. I say today, no more petrochemical industries. And if anybody knows what's going on, Louisiana, Texas, no, because they wanted 300 to 400 miles of nothing but industrial corridor. And we refuse to set up and let them continue to come and destroy the lands which we live, that belongs not now to us, but to our future, to our children and our children's children, all the way to the 10th generation and beyond. I say no more. Louisiana, say stop the insanity. Quit raping our communities. Quit raping our communities. No more will we take. No more will we stand. We will stand for it to happen. We will stand against them every single time. We plan to. We're not going away. Until the day I die, I'm going to continue to speak out and tell them and let the world know that we are here, we are in the same world together, and this is what God made and put here. We cannot duplicate. You can't come in trying to fix it, talking about trying to pull carbon in the ground. You can't do it because you know why? God already had a mechanism put in place. It's called trees. Quit killing our trees. Quit killing our animals. The animals is coming out. We got what they call yard dogs, which is alligators. They showing up on steps. They showing up in the swimming pools. Now you mean to tell me they feel good about a child getting in a swimming pool from an alligator who now finds that the swimming pool is better than what his habitat is? Our children get in there and we can lose our children not knowing it's in there. They hide out in weeds, but they doing what they do best, because when they grab, they take and they roll you and drown you. They try to get you pulled in water so that it can drown you. We're not going to let chemicals drown us anymore. I know I got a long voice, but I got a lot to say, and I'm not going to stop until God tells me to.
Amen.
So once again, Lake Charles, Louisiana in the house, Port Arthur, Texas in the house. And I want to let you know there are others I might not be calling the name of, but we all here, and we're not going to stand for this anymore. No more will we stand for LNG and petrochemical companies coming in running our land.
I am sick and tired of my family and my loved ones dying. suffering, years of suffering. And now we have LNG. And Freeport, Missouri County is just toxic, cancerous. And we can't take anymore. And if they was to witness, see loved ones that you have to carry who no longer able to feed themselves, they just all broken down because of breathing problems, dialysis, heart problems, all kinds of diseases that you never heard of. This is what these LNG facilities are doing. They are killing us. And as they kill us, they do not care. FERC, all they have done is lie. They issue out, Joe Biden and his administration, they issue out permits like it's Halloween candy. And they don't give a crap, I was gonna say something else, about us. But the deal is that I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna continue to fight, because the deal is that they need to come into our neighborhood. They need to come and see the blood, just like what he just said. Yeah, it's murder, because this is my family. They don't come to no funerals. They don't come to no hospitals. They don't even give us the money for the health care. They don't want to help us with a damn thing. But all they want to do is make money, and we are the sacrifice. We no longer the sacrifice, because we're going to continue to fight. We're going to continue to talk about them. We're going to continue to talk about what propaganda that they be issuing out to the people, all the lies, because all the LNG facilities are export. We don't benefit a damn thing except for a death sentence.
Amen.
That's all I have to say.
Amen.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for letting us come and be part of what's going on here. To stop the brown nosing that goes on here in this building with the fossil fuel industry, especially Manchin, who has no concept, no idea of what it is to kill people, and just thinks that by passing these permits, giving these permits to these companies, is a way of making some money off other people's lives, and that's exactly what's happening here. It's called secularism. We talk about American militarism, talk about American secularism, where they forgive themselves for the wrong that they do. And that's what's happening here with all these permits. We have 2 LNGs that should not go up on sacred sites where we live, down there in Cameron County. We should be there telling these people how sacred that land is, because we lived there. My ancestors lived there. I do what I do because my ancestors died for me. And that's why I'm here. 530 years ago, they came here to take all the resources from this land. They took all the gold, silver, and anything else they could find. And then when they ran out of that, they started killing all of us so they could get the land. And so now here we are. This is colonialism. And this colonialism is being allowed to occur even at these high places here. Nothing has changed. The genocide that started 530 years ago is still going on today. Because they are exporting resources to their old, whatever relatives they have across the sea. It's still the same thing. We need to start letting these people know how wrong they are. I don't need them to tell me who I am, because I know how I grew up. I have a language that is of this land. I don't have a language that is oppressive to other people. As people from Texas, we were oppressed by Spanish, and then we were oppressed by English. So I still speak my language. And the thing is, when we are able to do those things, then we have to call to accountability even our own native relatives who have sold out and are letting this happen and letting this occur. And these are the things that we need to tell people. There's still a genocide that is going on. It hasn't stopped. And now it includes a lot of us, all of us. And the thing that is occurring here is that they don't care. If they cared, about human life, about just the common human life that lives off the things that are there, then they would start listening and not be giving permits without the EISs and without the due diligence, not only of the fossil fuel companies, but their own due diligence, because they're stupid. I'll tell you that right now. They don't know anything about American history and how they killed 200 million original people of this land. They say 100 million because they want to play it down. But there were a lot more of us here than what they pretend to say. And those are the things that we have to talk about, because these people are not listening. And they're continuing with their genocide, and everybody who is part of this system, of this government, is responsible for that genocide and for the killing of every person that has died in the last 530 years here on this land.
That's right. Yeah.
We're not immigrants. We're the original people here. Guess who the immigrants are? They're in there. And those immigrants are making laws against other immigrants, even in Texas. We got that idiot running the governor down there, you know, talking about that the parents know better that the parents know what's better for their children. The parents don't know crap. The education system that is in this country is one of the worst in the world, because it's limiting. It tells you, oh, how nice this country is, but in reality, it's one of the worst genocide promoters in the world, because they do not hold themselves accountable for killing 200 million indigenous people of this land and taking away their identities, and then saying, oh, only I as a government recognize that you're an Indian. Well, I got a lot of bad words I can say, but I believe that we have to say this one thing. They can go suck on a derrick, oil derrick, okay? And they can have their cancer, they can have their ignorance, and let them die. But us people that are here are alive, and we are still going to continue fighting this fight. For 530 years, we're going to be calling out even the colonized people that have become colonized, that are from this land, who say, oh, it's okay, you know, don't take my federal contracts away. That's not going to work anymore. We're either going to be the people of the land and take care of this land, take care of barriers, take care of all these other places that are sacred to the original people of these lands. Because why? These lands are us. These lands are who we are. And I do not want to see another one of my relatives, you know, die from cancer either. My dad died from traumatic head cancer that went to his liver. And these things are awful to see, to watch a human being, especially somebody who you love and you care for, slowly just deteriorate. But these SOBs up here are making all kinds of plans for what they want to do, for what they want to be, for how they want to see these things. And Manchin has these so-called Democrats running around voting his way. But you know what? We've got Democrats in Texas who are buying into fossil fuel, who are part of the fossil fuel industry. And we have to stop that kind of stuff. Because if they're truly for the people, they should be in office. If they're not, get the hell out. Yeah, Manchin, get the hell out. Yeah. You're not for the people. You know? Joe Biden, I'm sorry. I don't want none of your Judas money. You know? One place you talk about, you know, climate change, and then at the other time you're expediting, you know, 2 freaking LNGs in sacred sites in Texas. And our sacred grounds, where our people lived, where our people died, where our people gave life to each other. This is ridiculous. I mean, what? You don't tell me that you're about life. Whose life are you about? Only yours? And I will not let you ever talk about it's not your fault. You're killing people. You're a murderer, and you continue to promote the genocide, and it's continuing with all the sacrifices zones that are happening in the Gulf Coast. Yeah. Okay? Thank you.
We don't want to be heard. We want you to act on what we say. If we say this is killing our communities, then damn it, don't do it. You have an obligation to do no harm. But if you're going to do harm, then there's a price to be paid, y'all. You get me? Wink, nod. There's a price to be paid. And there's something we call the American jurisprudence system. And we haven't taken advantage of that like we should have. But thank God for the Supreme Court that just recently approved the case. It's going to make that easy. But I'm going to add something to that. Not only should we prosecute the villains, the people that are causing the problem, we need to prosecute some of the bitches like him. You know why? Because he's an enabler. And if you and I rob a bank, I may go in and take it from the teller, but if you drive the getaway car, you're what? An accessory, right? Well, he's an accessory to an act, and that's murder and genocide on a national and worldwide scale. And all of his minions. Let's see the minions, y'all. Can y'all show us the minions right quick? Let's see who these minions are. We got old Willie Phillips. I know Willie. He's a nice guy, but he's misguided and misdirected. You got Commissioner Clemens. She's the new kid on the block, but she's got a lot to learn. But I think she's gonna try to do what's right. But we need to help her. And then you got old Commissioner Christie there. Look at that face. Think that's a face you can trust? I don't know. I don't know much about him, and I'm not gonna try to throw any shade. But
his wife told me that he has ties to Monroe County Wildlife. His wife told me 2 weeks ago that it's one of the most beautiful places on earth. And they're approving a damn pipeline to go through the middle and destroy Peters Mountain and the Jefferson National Forest in Monroe County.
That's your boy there, Christie. And then you have old Commissioner Danley. What can I say about Danley? You know, last time we were here, some of y'all remember, he was in the stratosphere. Well, we didn't know where he was, but he finally decided to make an appearance. He was listening in, but he didn't say anything. So we don't know if he was actually hearing what we said. That's right. But what we got to do is get old Danley's attention. We got to get Christie's attention. We've got to get Willie Phillips' attention. That's right. We've got to get Commissioner Clements' attention by any means necessary. Because what they're doing is wrong, and what they're doing is killing people, and they need to be held responsible. So when we decide to take action against these murderers and killers, we need to also take action against their enablers. Because my mama had a saying, you can't do wrong and get by. You can't do what you're doing to people and think it's okay because you have legal license. Well, there's a legal system, but there's also a judge that's even higher. But we're going to make sure that that judge does his job through us, because we're going to pin the tail on the Manchin. We're going to let him know, and we're going to let all of them know. So once again, thank you for all being out here this morning. Take heart, take courage. Don't get weak. You get a little tired sometime, take a break, take a rest, but get back in the game, get back in the fight. Don't quit, don't stop, don't give up. The easiest thing to do is give up, but if you give up, someone watching you may decide not to fight too. They might decide to sit back. So we have to encourage each other and motivate and uplift each other and pray for each other and cry with each other and work and fight and strive with each other. Kick Joe Manchin's ass and all the Joes in the world like that. Thank you. So once again, thank you for this morning, for being out here. Glad to be your host and try to get this thing rallied and going. I'm John Beard, Port Arthur, Texas, Port Arthur Community Action Network. And we're here to help each and every one of you. Thank you once again.
Thank you, John.
Hell no, Joe!
Talk to me.
Hell no, Joe!
Let him hear you.
Hell no, Joe!
Tell him again.
Hell no, Joe!
Hell no, Joe. Hell no, Joe. Now, what do we want to do with Joe? Go to hell, Joe. Hey, go to hell, Joe. Hey, no more, Joe. Hey, go to hell, Joe.